The King of Justice is an Arabic story. Once upon a time, in the vast desert of Arabia, there was a wonderful kingdom. The name of the kingdom is the Kingdom of Al-Jurad. A beautiful oasis in the desert and lush green land, the people of the country lived happily. The ruler of this kingdom was King Salam, a wise and righteous king. King Salam always put the happiness of his people first and ruled fairly and honestly. He was known for listening to his people, never overlooking any small injustice, and always bringing justice to justice. One day, an incident occurred in the kingdom. In the village, wealthy merchants tried to deceive poor peasants and take their land. The merchant tried to make the peasants enter into fraudulent contracts and take the land for themselves. The peasants were troubled, but they could not muster the courage to confront the merchants. When the news reached the royal palace, King Salam immediately began to investigate. The king first summoned merchants and peasants to the royal palace to find out the truth. In the halls of the royal palace, merchants and peasants faced each other. The merchant said proudly, "I have ownership of this land. The contract is also signed, so this land belongs to me." Meanwhile, the peasant lowered his eyes and said, "King, I just work and live. The contract shown by the merchant contained something I did not understand, and I had no choice but to sign. I can't take away my land." King Salam listened calmly to the merchants and also listened to the peasants. After thinking deeply, the king said, "Ownership of this land is not determined by what is written in the contract. If there is fraud in the contract, it should be void. In this kingdom, injustice is not allowed." King Salam then carefully examined the contract brought to the royal palace. It turned out that some of the contracts written by the merchants contained words and unfair clauses that the peasants did not understand. The king declared to the merchants, "This contract is invalid. Your actions are unjust." The merchant's face turned red, and he couldn't hide his anger. However, King Salam continued calmly, "Those who commit injustice are rewarded. You must return this land." The merchant was silent for a while, but was overwhelmed by the king's majesty and finally apologized and returned the land to the peasants. The peasants were grateful with tears in their eyes and bowed deeply to the king. Later, the people of the kingdom praised King Salam for being just at all times, and the king's fame grew even more. King Salam left his mark in the history of the kingdom as not just a king with power, but a king who cared for his people wholeheartedly. King Salam said, "Justice is not about the strong dominating the weak. Justice is about listening to the weak and treating all people equally. That is true power." Under the reign of King Salam, the kingdom of Al-Jurad prospered and lived happily ever after, believing that their people would receive fair justice at any time. End.